Of all the quotes that I get sent in, my favorite ones have to be when people just don't understand. When they say something and their logic defies physics. Take this first one for example. Holy shit, mobile CPUs are better than PC CPUs because it needs not a lot of voltage and needs cooling too. Anyways, Apple Macs should use the A11 Bionic CPU in MacBooks to save money and make battery life better, and remove these f***ing fans. See, this is simple thermodynamics. When a CPU gets hot, the heat spreader on top also gets hot. Now, its job is to disperse heat, sure, but it needs something to cool it, be it air or liquid. As this surface cools down, the CPU also cools down, but that heat has to go somewhere, which is where this metal plate comes in. It conducts heat well and can disperse it more efficiently. Not having a cooler and fans is bad. There's never a situation where a CPU not being cooled can run better than the same CPU with cooling. As a processor gets hot and reaches its peak threshold for heat, it's actually in danger of breaking. The wires in the chip can actually break. So, what a hot CPU does to keep this from happening is slow itself down to cool off. This is why the idea of not using a cooler and fans is not a very smart one, as it'll most likely run very slow almost always, and probably break down very fast. Now that we got that simple physics lesson out of the way, let's jump into the rest of the quotes. So we got a tweet by Intel here. Give a new computer powered by the 8th gen Intel Core and they'll get up to 2.8 times faster graphics. What? Intel what? Is this an actual thing, or 2.8 times faster than what? Why does every company insist on talking to me like Apple talks to me? I'm not a kid, just say your processor's faster. It'll be accurate and it won't leave me feeling patronized. Customization isn't worth it. It slows down your phone and Android isn't optimized. Yeah, Android's optimized, and beyond that, it's what's driving the mobile industry forward. There are things that became mobile standard because of the Android OS. Public transportation in maps, low power mode, split screen mode, moving backgrounds, custom ringtones. On a design aspect, Android phones were the first to design fingerprint scanners, first to open device with facial recognition. Waterproofing and splashproofing came first to Android phones. Augmented reality, bezel-less screens. Phones got bigger because of Android manufacturers. Wireless charging. What has Apple done in the past 5 years? Remove the headphone jack? And no, Android-based phones do not lack optimization. Nah. Even a 1080 can't max out games at 1080p 60 FPS. I have a 1070 and it drops way below 60 FPS in Watch Dogs 2 at 1080p. Probably not that much better with a 1080. Okay, so first of all, you're playing a Ubisoft game. You're not going to play any Ubisoft game on any computer and not dip below 60 FPS. Same with any console too. That's just not your card's fault. And the 1070 could easily do 1080 60 in most games, even maxed out. I did that with my 980 Ti. Hell, I played most games at 1440p, so you can easily do it with the 1070. I hope your gaming experience just got better. Oh, and one last word of advice. Stay away from the Ubisoft games. So this guy leaves a comment on the iPhone 8 battery swelling issue. Samsung did it first. I hate when Apple copies other companies' features and calls it innovation. That's funny. I really wish you could remove the batteries in your phones like you used to be able to. This kind of thing wouldn't cost Apple and Samsung so much if they just gave us the option to remove these faulty batteries. It also doesn't help that they're crammed down into this form-fitted shell, but hey, that's just my 2 cents on the matter. It's really funny. Everybody who relies on a productive computer uses a Mac. It's only the PC gamers saying the PC is better. There's only 2 reasons to use Windows productively. First, MS Office. Second, develop for Windows users. Every architect, every sound engineer, every graphics what? Oh my god, every anything creative uses a Mac. If you're at the very bottom of productivity, just a replaceable office worker, e.g. push numbers and fill out spreadsheets, then you use Windows. Oh, and if you play games all day. You understand now why hipsters buy Macs? Because they don't want to belong to the low-life society and think they have a shot at reaching the top. Okay, I'm gonna admit, you threw some pretty harsh words my way, and, they cut pretty deep. I'm man enough to admit that I'm hurt. Except, you made a bit of a fool out of yourself there. See, graphics creators tend to use computers with the same technology that'll be running the graphics. Now, you may have meant 3D modeling or graphic design for websites, but those are easily done on any computer. If you were talking about game development, which by the way you spoke of it, didn't sound like you knew much of anything, but I'll assume anyway, most of those are done on Windows-based computers with hardware that will accommodate those who will be using the final product. And there are plenty of innovative people who make it to the top, regardless of the operating system they use. Do you know who the hell Bill Gates is? 60 FPS versus 30 FPS is a big difference. Not if the developers do a good job at making 30 FPS look smooth. It's still noticeable, but it's not annoying stuttery 30 FPS. Yeah. I always feel like I'm missing something when someone says that. Look, there is no smooth 30 and not smooth 30. A stable 30 FPS is always going to look like 30 FPS. The only way to get it smoother is to make it not 30 FPS anymore. But if you like 30, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just feel like one day someone's going to show me this really smooth 30 FPS and I'm going to backtrack on myself. I'll be wearing this tinfoil hat and screaming at people to lower their frame rates to see the smoothness. Yeah, no, that's actually never going to happen. So it's been this way for a while, and it seems like for better or for worse, companies follow Apple. We saw it with the headphone jack and with the crappy slogans that everyone started to use. It's funny how often you can be driving through town and it just feels like Apple's right around the corner. I also want to say thanks. A lot of you guys send in quotes for me, which is too kind, and if you didn't know, I speak every language on earth, so let me go ahead and translate this for you. So the first guy says, I just bought the RX 580. Great card. I think I'm going to upgrade some more and sell my PS4. All I need is a new processor. I was thinking the Ryzen 1300. And this guy down here replies, I don't have a PC or a console, but I'd be happy to buy yours to help you get that processor, because that's what fellow gamers do. I wish you the best. Wow. Gosh, it's just always so nice to see fellow gamers getting along. Xbox has a design to where it'll be 4K regardless of your TV's capabilities. Oh my god, you know what? It's time for a commercial break, everybody. Here at Microsoft, we strive to give you the most out of your Xbox experience. From virtual reality to 4K gaming, we have it all. And now, coming soon to own, our physics-breaking Xbox cable that lets you game at 4K, 144 FPS, and in virtual reality regardless of your TV's capabilities. Don't believe us? Just ask one of our many satisfied customers. I plugged mine into my 12-inch 720p TV. Now it's a 4K 40-inch TV. Thanks, Xbox!
I plugged it into my toaster. Now it's a toaster oven. Thanks, Xbox!
I plugged it into my cat.
Xbox. We don't make this crap up. You do. It wouldn't have been animated in 60 FPS as that takes way too long. Most animation is done in 24 FPS as that still makes animation look smooth, while also saving time, as it's unnecessary to animate at higher frame rates. I don't know, I wouldn't say it's unnecessary to animate at higher frame rates. It definitely makes the animation look smoother. I mean, take Cuphead for example. That was all hand-drawn animation and it was animated at 60 FPS and it looks amazing. Not to say that that should be the standard by any means though, as like you said, animating at 24 FPS is already time-consuming enough, but I wouldn't mock them for doing it, I'd be impressed. So this guy up here made a post about Halo 3 running at 30 FPS and how it kind of sucks that it just doesn't run a little higher. This guy down here says, fun fact, the human eye is biologically incapable of discerning anything above 30 FPS, as in we cannot actually make it out and tell the difference. Going down from 60 FPS to 30 FPS may seem like a big difference, but visually, our eyes cannot actually tell the difference. And it could run at 60 FPS, but that unnecessarily taxes the system and makes the games less stable. 30 FPS is just fine. I like how this guy's pretending he's this all-knowing fountain of knowledge, but listen to how it sounded. The 360 is amazing, but 60 is always stuttery, so 30's better. You may think you can see a difference, but your eyes can't tell. What do you mean my eyes can't tell? I'll bet you if I stepped on a Lego and then a thumbtack, this guy would try to tell me my foot couldn't tell. You're gonna have to forgive me on this one. Like, I pirated a Telltale game because I bought The Walking Dead Season 1 and 2 and The Wolf Among Us at full price. It's not like I haven't supported them before. Sorry. But you know, they do have a point. I mean, sure, I killed my friend the other day, but I didn't kill his brother and sister and I had ample opportunity. So what's the fuss about here? Look, I don't care if you steal a game, but don't justify it with a previous purchase. Buying something at a store once doesn't mean that I can go in and take anything I want. Again, if you took it, but the logic just wasn't very good there. Sorry I turned you into a teenage blonde girl. Don't even let the console peasants play PUBG. This game is a gift from the PC master race. We don't need their filthy hands touching our beloved game. Yeah, I'm mad that they're playing games in a way that doesn't even affect me and enjoying themselves. Stupid gamers playing video games. Oh, by the way, can you port Bloodborne and Horizon Zero Dawn? That'd be cool. Yeah, but don't let console players have PUBG. Oh god. PC will poison Destiny 2, the game the great console community we have built up over the years. Yuck. See, this is the same thing. How would the game coming to more platforms change anything? You played with PlayStation gamers online before, and you're still going to be only playing with PlayStation gamers, so why does it matter if somewhere else another platform gets to enjoy it and have fun? This is just selfish behavior. Is this the 90s? CPU clock speed doesn't matter anymore. What? Where do you get off saying something like that? What is this, the 90s? Mobile data doesn't matter anymore. Oh god, I swear to god, this is going to be a meme on this channel now. Skype to Netflix, YouTube, Internet Explorer, the Kinect sensor voice activation. Can you talk to your PC and ask it to play your favorite movie, TV station, or song? I didn't think so. Okay, Google, look up the My Little Pony movie.
Here are some matching movies.
This doesn't mean anything. Hey, Cortana, open Photoshop.
Okay, opening Photoshop.
This still doesn't mean anything. Now we have Windows 10 apps coming to Xbox. Are you seeing a pattern here? I am, and it shows consoles slowly doing everything your box PC does. PC are f***ed. As far as gaming goes, consoles and PC will be the same thing by 2020. It won't be the console that goes first, mate. Trust me. I am seeing a pattern actually, and it's the same pattern that I see with Apple. Consoles constantly catching up. There is voice activation in the way of Cortana and Google, and you can download many more free programs that do what they do and more. Windows 10 apps coming to Xbox isn't a huge thing as they're mostly bloatware freemium games, but I mean, congrats on Candy Crush, and things like virtual reality, augmented reality, upgradability, and graphics processing aren't even close as of right now. Maybe you're right. Maybe somehow in 2020 consoles and computers will be exactly identical, but as of right now, the pattern you're seeing isn't taking much more than gentle steps forward. I mean, for the love of God, the Xbox One X can finally do 4K gaming sometimes. That's been a thing since around 2006. I mean, the first 4K TV came out in what, 2003? If you want to have fun, console. If you want to have great graphics, PC. Yeah, one thing you'll notice about PC gaming, and this is actually something I noticed when I first got into it, is as I played games that I used to play on my console, they looked miles better, but the graphics just stop you from having fun. I mean, don't ask me how, it's kind of retarded logic, but yeah, better graphics equals no fun. I'm getting a PC soon. However, at 60 FPS, games just look weird to me. The 30 just feels better to me, especially if it's locked, like Gears of War and Forza. 30 FPS feels more like a movie to me, more paced, cinematic, and awesome. 60 FPS feels twitchy and fast-forwarded. I hope most new PC games have settings to lock FPS because my rig is going to be a beast. If not, I'll deliberately ultra the graphics just for that dip in FPS. I know, I'm weird. You know what? You are weird, but hey, if that's your thing, then by all means. I'm happy to let you know that most games do have an FPS lock, so you can set your games to 30 FPS and crank those graphics up to your heart's content. Now, I'll never be able to play games like that, but if you prefer 30, then I can't fault you for it. Welcome to PC gaming, my friend. You do know that overclocking is illegal, right? Plus, think about the components. You're making them work harder for the same amount of pay. Just wrong. Overclocking isn't illegal. Most companies even sell overclocked parts right out of the box, and they're not slaves. These components can work harder with a little more juice. It's just how they work. Why would anyone make this illegal? You know, I have a weird feeling you may have taken an episode of Futurama a bit too seriously there. So I stumbled upon this video the other day. It's a Fox News interview of a war veteran who explains why he knows video games cause violence in those who play them. Listen carefully as he brings up some pretty compelling points. Enjoy.
All right. A lot of people are going to say, and I think you do outline it in the book, what's the evidence between video games and violence?
Right. You know, we have longitudinal data, we have experimental data, we have correlational data. The American Academy of Pediatrics says media violence is the most remediable factor. It's the one that if we did something about it would have the greatest impact on violence in our society. In a 60-minute Vanity Fair poll, 84% of the population believes
Right.
that this is having an impact. I
Right.
mean, it's just a no-brainer.
Right.
In July of 2000, the AMA, the APA, the American Academy of Pediatrics made a joint statement, both houses of Congress, said 30 years of research, 1,000 sound scholarly studies have proven the connection.
Right.
It's just irrefutable.
No, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
the connection is black and white.
Yeah.
And